Hey YouTube, it's Charlie from Reader Turned Writer, and today I'm just sharing my September 2021 reading wrap-up. And I am not in my normal place because Oliver is asleep there, and if you want to check out my stats video that I posted recently, I introduced him at the beginning of that, so you can go check that out. He's super cute. About a month old, and we are just loving having him, especially now that he is sleeping a little better in the night. I'm doing this more vlog style. My kids are off at a friend's house. Riley and Oliver are both asleep, so we'll see how this goes because Riley is set to wake up any minute now, and you never know with Oliver. So I will try and keep it really brief, but I did read 34 books in September. I did the 30 books in 30 days challenge. A few YouTubers did it. I heard about it from Kasie at Luminous Libro. She recently changed her channel, so now every time I have to think about what her channel name is. But I love her channel, and I had a lot of fun with the challenge. And it was the perfect month to do it in because I had tons of time for reading, and I was able to put off some of my other responsibilities, like writing and even like making videos because I already had some pre-recorded, and just focus on reading. So it was really fun, and it also got me through some very long nights when Oliver wasn't sleeping. So I finished off the Hilda series. I had already read books 1 and 2, so I read 3, 4, 5, and 6, Hilda and the Bird Parade, Hilda and the Black Hound, Hilda and the Stone Forest, and Hilda and the Mountain King. And I rated the Bird Parade 5 stars. I rated the Black Hound 5 stars. I rated the Stone Forest 4 stars, and I rated the Mountain King 5 stars. So overall, I really enjoyed them. The Hilda series is a really fun one. I like both the graphic novels and the shows, and my girls do too. I've actually read all of the Hilda books aloud to the girls, and they really love them. They love Hilda, and they love the Netflix series as well. Then I also finished off the Stolen Kingdom series by Bethany Atazedah. Each book in this series is a different retelling. So I read The Cursed Hunter, and I rated it 5 stars, and this is like a loose Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I loved it. I thought that the take on the Beast was really unique, but also fit really well with the original fairy tale. Then I read The Enchanted Crown, and that was the last book in the series, and I rated it 5 stars as well. And this is a loose, very, very loose Sleeping Beauty retelling, and I thought that it was really good. It was a little bit long, but it really brought the other books and tied them up really nicely, and I just really enjoyed the experience. And then the Secret Gift was like a novella or short story kind of. I'm not sure which one. It might be a short story. It's pretty short, just about the backstory for the antagonist of the series, and I rated it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I kind of missed the other characters, but it was still really fun, especially once I got into it. I also reread Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I rated it 4 stars. It's one of my least favorite by Jane Austen, but it is a Jane Austen book, and I really like it. I think it was the first one that she wrote, but I actually really love the main character in it. I just get super annoyed with some of her friends because they're so annoying. My Agatha Christie read for the month was Halloween Party, and I rated it 5 stars, and I actually really loved it. It basically, a murder takes place at a Halloween party. I really like Poirot, and I really liked the other, like kind of his main sidekick in this one as well. Then I finished off the Enola Holmes series. I had read the first 2 already, but I just finished off all of the books in the series. So I read The Case of the Bizarre Bouquets. I rated it 5 stars. It was probably my favorite of the series. I really enjoyed that one. The second and third I liked the very most. And then Enola and the Case of the Peculiar Pink Fan, I rated 4 stars. Enola and the Case of the Cryptic Crinoline, I rated 5 stars. Enola and the Case of the Gypsy Goodbye, I rated 4 stars. This was originally the end of the series and wrapped up kind of the storyline with her mother, and I didn't love the way that they wrapped that up, which is part of why I rated it 4 stars. But I did really enjoy her interactions with Sherlock, her brother. Though my one kind of I guess complaint about the series is that throughout the whole series, Sherlock most of the time he doesn't feel to me like the Sherlock from the original series, but I like him and I like his interactions with Enola, and so I kind of just ignore that and enjoy the series for what it is. And I really love Enola and the way that she solves her cases. She like uses her strengths as a woman in the Victorian time, despite the fact that she's a woman. She like uses that to her advantage to solve her cases and be independent, and I love that. And then afterwards, Nancy Springer wrote kind of like a little short story called The Boy in the Buttons, and I read this and it rated it 4 stars, and it's just like a little short mini mystery that Enola solves. And then after that, I think that was like a marketing type story to pave the way for her final book that was a newer release, and it was Enola and the Black Barouche. I don't know how you say that. And I rated that 5 stars. I really enjoyed that one. And again, that one was kind of fun because it was like the first time that she and Sherlock actually like teamed up to solve a mystery since it was all resolved in the previous book. And so it was really fun. I don't know if she's going to write more, but it would be kind of fun if she did. And then I read The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams, and I rated it 4 stars. This is an adult rom-com that is steamy but clean. It was a little more steamy than some of her previous books, I felt like, but overall it was okay. For some reason it just wasn't my absolute favorite by her. Maybe because it like followed a football star and like a famous ballerina. Well, she's not famous. Ballerina who she was really good at ballet in high school and then got injured and couldn't continue on. So it was between these two, like this really famous football star and this ballerina. And something about it, I just didn't connect with it as much, but it was still just a fun, easy, light read, fairly clean still, even though it was pretty steamy. And then I read The Class Act by Jerry Craft. This is the sequel to New Kid, a middle grade novella about a black boy who is on scholarship at a mostly white school and kind of his experience. And I think it's a really important read. I rated it 4 stars. I didn't like it as much as New Kid, but I did still enjoy it. It felt the plot felt a little disjointed, but overall I still enjoyed it and still feel like it helps both kids and adults to understand someone else's perspective. And then I also read Wild Bird by Wendelin van Draanen, and I rated this 5 stars. This is a YA book about a girl who was kind of in trouble with like drugs and things like shoplifting and different things like that. And her parents finally call the police and send her to like a survivalist camp to help her get over her addiction. And the character development in this is just amazing, and I definitely cried and just really enjoyed her journey and following her on her journey. And I just love Wendelin van Draanen. I can't wait to read more books by her. Then I read a couple of Kasie West books. I read By Your Side, which is about a girl who gets trapped in a library like over the weekend with some random guy from her high school, and they kind of become friends. I really enjoyed the first half because that took place in the library. I didn't enjoy the second half quite as much, but overall it was still a cute romance that did deal with some deeper issues. Not a ton, but some. And I rated it 4 stars. And I also read Sunkissed by Kasie West, which is one of her newer releases. I think it came out this year, actually. And I also rated it 4 stars. It's about a girl who goes to summer camp and obviously meets a boy, and there's like music involved and some family drama. I didn't love the family in this one. A lot of times I really like the family relationships in Kasie West's book, but in this one they felt a little bit, I don't know, maybe it's just because the sister felt really whiny and entitled to me and it really bothered me, but something about the family, I didn't love the family relationships in this one. It also felt a little bit just kind of like another YA romance, kind of forgettable. One of the things that I love about Kasie West is that she is always really clean with her romance books. I feel like they are great ones for younger teens to read because of how clean they are, or for me because I love clean romances. Okay, so I'm gonna finish outside real fast just on my porch because the girls got home and Riley woke up, so now they're watching a show in the living room, which is where I was, and So I'm just gonna finish real fast, but I reread River Secrets, and I rated it 5 stars by Shannon Hale, and I had forgotten, it'd been so long since I read it, I'd forgotten that it followed Razzo, who is my favorite character, and I just love him so much that it made the whole book for me. It's probably my favorite book in the series, actually, because of that. And then the 4th book, Forceborn, I rated 4 stars. This follows Razzo's sister, and I just don't like it quite as much, but it's still good. It's just not my absolute favorite in the series. I also read Spiderman, Double Trouble. This was I think it's the 3rd in the Ultimate Spider-Man series of comic books, the comic book collections. And I rated it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was not my favorite of the series so far, but ultimately I really enjoyed the series. I really like the way that Spider-Man, Peter Parker, is portrayed in it. This one was just kind of not as compelling for me. There was a lot going on with the plot, and a lot of it felt kind of like it didn't need to be there or was kind of disjointed. But I still enjoyed Parker's character, and I enjoy MJ as well and their relationship. And then I read Friends Forever by Shannon Hale. This is the 3rd in the series, and it came out actually this month. I had got it because my 7-year-old loves the series, really wanted to read it, so I told her I'd get it, and of course I had to read it then. And it's a graphic novel, so it was perfect to read this month. And I rated it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I've actually really enjoyed the whole series. Actually, I rated it 5 stars. I just looked at my bullet journal. I rated the 2nd book in the series 4 stars, and I rated this one 5 stars, and the 1st book 5 stars. And so overall, I really enjoyed the series, and I think that it's a really good one for girls to read because I think it's really relatable what Shannon went through with her friends, and I didn't personally go through some of the things she went through, like with her mom and some of the views that her mom had, but I'm sure it's really relatable, especially here in Utah. The other series I finished was the Vanderbeekers series. I read the 1st book in the series like forever ago. I don't even know when. Maybe in 2019. Oh, my arm's getting so tired. So in 2019, I think I read the first Vanderbeeker book, Vanderbeekers on 141st Street. So I read Vanderbeekers and the Hidden Garden. I rated this 4 stars. Vanderbeekers to the Rescue, I rated 3 stars. Vanderbeekers Lost and Found, I rated 5 stars. And Vanderbeekers Make a Wish, which is the new release, I rated 4 stars. And finished off the series. The Vanderbeekers series is cute to me, but it's definitely not on par with the Penderwicks. I love the Penderwick series. It almost feels like the author is trying too hard to me in some places. It also drives me crazy in the first few books. The Vanderbeekers just don't tell their parents anything, and in one of the books, the one that I rated 3 stars, it's about their mom's business, and I'm like, why in the world didn't they tell their mom? It wasn't their fault what happened. Like, I don't understand how they could have gotten in trouble, and it was a big deal to their mom's business that they didn't tell her, and it was driving me it drove me so crazy that it lowered it a star for me. I couldn't believe that they didn't tell her. I did really enjoy Lost and Found. That one had some really touching moments, and I definitely cried during some of it and touched on just like grief and working through grief and relationships and stuff. Then I actually started and finished the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I wasn't actually planning on reading the whole series, but I read the first book. Absolutely loved it, rated it 5 stars. So then I decided, since they were just like really easy reads, they were great ones for the middle of the night when I was a little bit groggy and couldn't focus as much, because they were kind of like more fun reads, I guess. So the second book is Good Girl, Bad Blood, and I rated it 4 stars, and then the last book is As Good as Dead, and I rated it 3 stars. So you can see as I progressed through the series, it went down for me. It wasn't actually the quality of the book at all that went down. I feel like it was just not my kind of book, especially, I could tell from the second book that it was going in a direction that I probably wasn't going to like, but I had to finish the series, and so I just read it anyways. And then I was right, it went in a direction that was kind of disappointing to me, a little bit darker. It was almost kind of like an anti-hero story arc through the things. Just, I didn't love some of the choices the main character made in the third book, and just the way that she saw things and viewed things, and it wasn't unrealistic at all or anything. It's just not my cup of tea. Then I read A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park, and I rated it 5 stars. It's a really short non-fiction that reads like fiction book, but it was a really compelling read. I loved following both the main character and the little snippets we got from the present, and I love the way that they connected in the end. And I would definitely recommend it, especially if you are wanting to get into nonfiction but you're worried about it, because it definitely reads like a fictional story. And then I read The Dark One by Brandon Sanderson, and this is a graphic novel that he came out with recently, and I rated it 4 stars. It was good, but I honestly just really prefer Brandon Sanderson's novels to any of the graphic novels that he's done. I'd much rather read a novel by him than a graphic novel, but I'm not a huge graphic novel person, so. It's a kind of like a fantasy book where someone from the present day gets pulled into a fantasy world, but it's not connected to the Cosmere, I don't think. And the final book I read was a really short mystery book that my mom had when she was a little girl that I now have. It's a really old book. It's called Mini Mysteries, and it's this group of kids who create a club, and they call it the Platypus Club, so that nobody knows what the club is, and they solve mysteries. And the mysteries are really lighthearted, and so they're really simplistic, lighthearted reads that are really good for younger kids, like not middle grade, but even younger than that. So it was kind of perfect to read it with my 5 and 7-year-olds. My 5-year-old especially loved it. 5-year-old has really liked murder mysteries a lot more recently. So that was my reading month. Hopefully this video doesn't end up too long. I don't actually know how long it is because I've had to break it up into a couple of videos, but thank you for sticking with me through all of those books. I would love to hear how your reading month went in September and what your favorite book was of the month. My top 3 favorites were Good Girl's Guide to Murder, The Case of the Bizarre Bouquets, and Wild Bird. Yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe for lots of reading and writing content. If you want to see my reviews for all of these individual books from the series, you can check out my Goodreads. It's always linked down below, as well as my Instagram account. Thank you so much for watching my video. I will see you in the next one.